Norway's fjords stretch before autumn, where silver light touches quiet waters, where the air carries the cool breath of pine and salt, and where the hush of something timeless waits to be discovered. Before we begin, find a place where you can rest. Let your body sink into comfort. Tonight, I'll take you on a quiet journey to a place where only peace waits for you. Put on your headphones if you can, and stay with me until the very end, as each word will guide you deeper into the night. The stillness of the fjord lingers in your mind, and you sense that somewhere along these winding waters there is a moment you've yet to meet, a story hidden among cliffs and sky waiting patiently for your arrival. This is where Nightfall Travels begins tonight, in a northern land where light softens early and the air carries both the crisp coolness of summer's end and the promise of autumn's quiet embrace. You stand at the edge of a harbor town, the wooden docks stretching out like fingers into the deep. The scent of brine rises gently mixed with faint smoke from distant chimneys. A gull circles overhead, its cry softened by the hush of the wide sky. And always, the soft motif appears, the glimmer of water, moving slowly, folding light into liquid silver. Tonight, this glimmer will return again and again, a thread that guides you deeper into the fjords. The wooden houses behind you glow with painted colors, reds, yellows, and whites, a Scandinavian palette that feels both sturdy and welcoming. Their windows catch the last of the evening light, holding it like lanterns. You feel the cool wood of the dock under your shoes, the faint creak as it shifts with the tide. A fisherman passes with a quiet nod, his nets coiled neatly, smelling faintly of rope and salt. As you breathe, the cool air fills your chest with a freshness that feels like clarity itself. You pause, letting your shoulders soften the breath, leaving you as slowly as the tide draws back. With each exhale, the weight of the day loosens its hold. A small boat awaits you, painted in weathered blues, its oars resting patiently. You step inside the wood, rocking gently beneath your feet. The water answers with a hushed, lapping sound, as if welcoming you into its rhythm. That glimmer of silver moves with you, now folding and unfolding like a slow heartbeat. The journey begins with small strokes of the oars. Each pull carries you deeper into the fjord, the town receding behind in soft colors. Ahead, the cliffs rise, walls of ancient stone, worn smooth by ice and time. You imagine the glaciers that once carved these valleys long before memory. Their quiet labor left this deep waterway now filled with peace. As twilight gathers, the light shifts to a soft blue-gray. The air cools further, brushing across your skin with the gentlest of touches. You draw your coat around you, the scent of pine drifting from unseen forests above. Somewhere, a church bell rings, a single note drifting across water like a thread of sound. Your boat glides into the stillness. You notice your reflection in the water, doubled in silver and shadow. For a moment, it feels as though the fjord is holding both worlds, above and below, one mirroring the other. That glimmer motif shimmers once more, reminding you of something both familiar and unknown, a promise still waiting along the journey. You rest the oars, letting the boat drift. The gentle current carries you without urgency. You listen the soft lap of water, the faint rustle of wind in the pines, the occasional call of a bird returning to roost. It feels like the whole fjord is exhaling with you. The cliffs grow taller as you enter deeper waters. Their faces are streaked with waterfalls, thin ribbons of white tumbling gently into the fjord below. You hear their whispering sound like voices carried from high places. Once villagers believed these falls carried the laughter of forest spirits playing among the rocks. Whether true or not, the sound eases something inside you like a lullaby from the mountain itself. The light fades slowly. The sky deepens into indigo scattered with early stars. One star brighter than the rest reflects perfectly in the still water, doubling itself in the silver glimmer motif. You watch it feeling as though the heavens lean closer, guiding your way. The boat drifts into a quiet cove where a small wooden jetty rests against stone. A lantern hangs there glowing softly. You know this is only the first stop, the beginning of the journey, but already a sense of belonging has taken hold, as if the fjord itself has opened its arms. And as you step onto the jetty, the lantern's glow catches the silver surface once more, the glimmer that will follow you, deepening its meaning as you travel further. You breathe deeply, the coolness of pine and sea filling you again. And with the night settling softly around you, you take the first step inland toward what waits among the fjords. The path ahead curves gently upward, lined with moss and stone. The sound of your footsteps joins the quiet music of the water below. Somewhere unseen, a wooden flute begins to play faint and distant like a dream carried on the wind. You follow it knowing this night holds stories yet untold. And so with the fjord glimmer guiding you onward, you step into the quiet path, ready for what lies beyond. The night is only beginning. The fjord has more to share, and soon another discovery waits just ahead. The path rises slowly from the water's edge. Moss softens the stones beneath your steps, and the air carries a coolness touched by earth and pine. Each breath feels deeper here, as though the fjord itself is guiding your lungs into ease. The glimmer motif returns now, not on water, but in the way moonlight lingers across damp leaves, catching drops of mist like scattered silver beads. You pause at a bend in the path. Behind you, the cove glows with the lantern's gentle light, but ahead, the trail disappears into a hush of tall spruce and birch. The branches sway lightly in the evening breeze, releasing a faint resinous scent. You draw it in, noticing how it mingles with the crisp salt you still carry from the fjord. Your hand brushes the trunk of a birch tree, its bark smooth and pale cool beneath your touch. These forests have stood for centuries, silent keepers of stories passed only through wind and water. Somewhere above, an owl gives a low, steady call. The sound echoes softly, as if urging you forward. The trail widens into a clearing. Here the sky opens and you see the fjord from above. For the first time, a ribbon of silver winding deep between dark cliffs. Starlight scatters across the surface, doubling itself in reflection until the water looks like a sky beneath a sky. You breathe slowly, letting the view fill your chest. with wonder, your body softening into the quiet beauty spread before you. There is an old wooden bench at the edge of the clearing. Its planks are worn smooth by countless visitors who rested here before you. You sit feeling the cool wood against your palms, the forest sounds folding around you. The motif glimmers once more, this time in the faint shimmer of a small waterfall spilling down rock just beside the bench. Its voice is steady, constant, soothing. You let your eyes close for a moment. The sound of the water becomes your breath, in and out, steady calm like the rhythm of a lullaby. You notice how the bench cradles you, the earth beneath, steady and sure. The air settles cool around your shoulders, holding you in its embrace. A story drifts into your mind of the old Norse belief that waterfalls were pathways for unseen beings, bridges where the human and spirit worlds might meet. Villagers once left small offerings of bread or flowers near such falls, hoping for blessings of safe passage or good harvest. Tonight you feel no need for offering, only the gift of listening, of letting the sound wash gently through you. You rise again, following the trail as it curves deeper into the forest. The moon rides high, now its silver glow painting each stone and branch. Everywhere, the glimmer motif returns in drops of dew, in the glint of mica, along the path, in the ripple of water that follows quietly below. Soon the forest thins, and you arrive at a meadow, its grasses moving in slow waves under the night breeze. The air feels warmer here, softened by earth and open space. A wooden farmhouse stands at the far end, red walls faded by time, roof covered in turf that blooms with wildflowers even at night. Smoke rises faintly from its chimney, carrying the scent of peat and warmth. As you cross the meadow, you hear a sound, a fiddle play gently, almost like a whisper. The tune carries a lilt, both wistful and sweet. Through the open door, golden light spills, and you glimpse a family, gathered children, drowsy near the hearth, an elder bowing the fiddle with steady hand, and the rhythm of life moving in calm simplicity. For a moment, you pause outside, listening. The warmth of the music touches something inside you, a memory perhaps of your own family evenings back home, where stories or songs filled the quiet before sleep. It's a reminder that even across oceans, hearts rest in the same rhythm. The motif glimmers yet again, this time in the shine of glass jars along the farmhouse window, each filled with preserved berries glowing like small lanterns in the firelight. You feel gratitude for this glimpse, a reminder of nourishment, tradition, and the sweetness carried from one season into the next. You step back from the doorway, not disturbing the quiet scene. Instead, you let the music follow you as you continue along the path, carrying with you both the warmth of the farmhouse and the cool freshness of the fjord night. The trail narrows once more, leading upward into rock and pine. The air grows cooler, the scent sharper, tinged with moss and stone. Your steps slow, your breath deep, and the silence around you feels both vast and intimate. At the crest of the path, the land opens again, and there before you lies another fjord, narrower, quieter, its surface so still that the moon itself seems to rest upon it. The glimmer shines brighter here, as though the water has become pure light. You know this is only the beginning, that deeper places wait beyond. And so, with calm filling your chest and wonder easing your mind, you step forward toward the next turn, where the fjord reveals another of its hidden secrets. The night deepens, and the journey carries you further. Soon, another discovery waits along the path. The path descends slowly now, winding between stones softened by moss and ferns. Each step carries you closer to the hush of water. Once more, the air cooling as you near the fjord's quiet heart. The sound of your footsteps blends with the faint rustle of night creatures in the underbrush, the scurry of a fox, the soft wing beat of an owl sweeping overhead. As you draw closer, the glimmer motif greets you again, this time as moonlight scattered across ripples, spreading outward like threads of silver lace. You pause at the shore, kneeling to touch the cool water with your fingertips. The chill is sharp, but it fades quickly, leaving behind a freshness that feels like renewal itself. The fjord reflects the cliffs above in near-perfect stillness. Only the smallest fish stir beneath the surface, sending circles of light outward. It feels as though the water holds not only the land, but your own reflection, steady, endless, at peace. You take a slow breath, filling your lungs with the mingled scents of salt and pine, holding it just a moment, and then letting it ease from your body, carrying with it the day's remaining weight. In this breath, you feel a quiet belonging, as though the fjord accepts you into its rhythm. A faint path along the shoreline draws you onward. Smooth stones crunch lightly beneath your steps, their edges rounded by centuries of waves. At one bend, you discover a cluster of carved posts, weathered and half hidden in moss. Their patterns are simple yet enduring spirals, lines and symbols of sun and water. Here a micro-story comes to mind. Long ago, travelers along these fjords raised wooden posts to mark safe paths or sacred spaces. Some were meant as guideposts, others as offerings. Standing before them, now you imagine the hands that carve these lines, the quiet prayers whispered to the waters before journeys began. The glimmer motif returns etched into the posts themselves, where moonlight catches in grooves, silvering the patterns with quiet reverence. You brush a hand over the wood, feeling the cool dampness of moss, the softness of time. The path narrows further, pressed between cliff and water. Above, the rock face rises like a cathedral wall, streaked with faint mineral lines that gleam in the moonlight. The fjord beside you whispers with gentle movement, its surface folding and unfolding in quiet conversation. You pause to rest against the rock, its surface cool and steady beneath your back. Closing your eyes, you feel the rhythm of the earth itself, immovable stone behind you, flowing water at your side, air crisp and pure against your skin. The balance of elements holding you in their embrace. When you open your eyes again, you notice a light ahead, faint, flickering like a lantern, swinging slowly in the night breeze. You follow each step, soft and unhurried, curiosity pulling you deeper. Soon you arrive at a tiny boathouse perched on stilts above the water. Its planks creak softly, worn by time and tide. The lantern sways gently at its entrance, casting long ribbons of light across the fjord. And there inside you glimpse rows of carved wooden boats, each with curved prows, each painted in faded blues and reds. A story drifts from the place itself. These boats once carried families across fjords, bringing them to markets, gatherings, and distant farms. Life along these waters was measured not in roads, but in journeys across silver tides. You run your hand along one boat's smooth edge, the wood cool and fragrant with tar and salt. For a moment, you imagine the laughter of children clambering aboard, the call of voices as nets were pulled, the rhythm of oars echoing across water. The boathouse seems to breathe with memories. The glimmer motif touches this scene, too shimmering along the varnished edges of oars, reflecting softly on the still water beneath the stilts. It feels alive, as though the fjord itself carries these memories forward into the present. Stepping back outside, you look once more at the silvered path of the water stretching deeper inland. The air is colder here, sharper yet filled with clarity. You pull your coat close, feeling warmth settle in your chest despite the chill. You linger a moment longer by the lantern, watching its flame sway. The night is utterly quiet except for the faint lap of waves and the sigh of trees high on the cliffs. It feels as though the whole world has slowed, leaving only you, the fjord, and the silver glimmer that never leaves your side. The path continues beyond the boathouse, curving into shadow and promise. And as you step forward, the motif shines, once again, reflected in the ripples behind you, guiding you gently onward toward what waits in the hidden turns of the fjord. The night carries you further now, deeper into the heart of the fjords, and soon a new wonder will open before you. The shoreline path bends into shadow, and when you emerge, the fjord stretches wider than before, its surface vast and calm, like a great mirror holding the night. The cliffs open here, revealing slopes scattered with birch and pine, their pale trunks glowing faintly in moonlight. The air feels cooler, sharper, touched by stone and the faint sweetness of damp earth. The glimmer motif greets you once more, this time scattered across the fjord's open water, where moonlight breaks into 1,000 tiny sparks. As if the surface itself has been dusted with silver dust, drifting, shifting, never still. You pause on a flat rock at the water's edge. The stone is cool beneath your hand, its surface rough with lichen. Leaning forward, you scoop up a palmful of water. It tastes clean, almost sweet, a clarity that lingers on your tongue like snow. For a moment, you let it rest in your mouth, feeling it settle into your body, refreshing, grounding. Not far ahead, you notice a cluster of small wooden huts perched at the edge of the fjord. Their walls are weathered gray roofs, heavy with sod that blooms even at night. You approach slowly, the crunch of gravel beneath your shoes, softened by moss and grass. The huts are quiet now, doors, closed windows dim. Yet the scent of wood smoke lingers, mingled with the faint aroma of dried fish. On one door, You see a carving of a spiral sun, a protective sign once common in old Norwegian villages meant to bless travelers and guard the hearth. You take a slow breath and a memory rises, perhaps not your own, but one the place seems to hold, of families gathered inside such huts on winter nights, sharing warmth bread and tales of the fjords. You imagine their laughter, their hands working wool or mending nets by the fire, the rhythm of life steady and enduring. A faint sound interrupts your imagining, the quiet creak of wood. Turning, you notice an elderly man stepping out from one of the huts. His figure is bent but steady, as hands holding a small lantern. He nods toward you with a calm familiarity, as if he's seen many travelers pause here before. He lifts the lantern slightly, casting a soft glow across his face. His eyes are clear, bright, even in age. He doesn't speak, only gestures toward the fjord as though reminding you to look. And when you do, you see the glimmer motif more vivid than ever, the silver sparks gathered in one bright path, leading toward the fjord's hidden turn. When you glance back, the man is already moving inside, closing the door behind him. The silence folds over the huts again, leaving only the faint glow of his lantern in the window. You continue onward, the shoreline now lit by the silver shimmer across the water. The path narrows, pressed between stone and tide. You notice driftwood gathered at the edge, bleached white by sun and sea, each piece sculpted by time. You run your hand across one, its surface, smooth as bone, cool and weightless. Here the air shifts, touched with the crispness of early autumn. The faint scent of berries drifts from the slopes above. A small bush catches your eye, heavy with lingon berries shining like drops of red glass. You pluck one, place it on your tongue. The taste is sharp, tart, then sweet, waking your senses with its simple brightness. The motif glimmers here too, in the berries' shine, in the way its color stands against the silver of the night. You savor it, letting the taste ground you in the moment, a quiet gift of the fjord's edge. Further along, you reach a low wooden pier extending into the water. Its planks creak softly underfoot, the fjord lapping gently below. You sit at the edge, legs dangling shoes, nearly brushing the silvered surface. The stillness is profound. You breathe in the crisp air, and with your exhale, your shoulders soften. Your jaw loosens, the weight of time itself seems to ease. The glimmer moves beneath your feet, tiny waves catching starlight, folding one into another like soft breaths layered on the water. A quiet story comes to mind of the sea maidens in Old Norse lore, who were said to sing beneath the waters of the fjords. Their voices, soft as ripples, could guide fishermen home on foggy nights. Tonight you imagine their song woven into the silence, not luring, not urgent, simply a presence like the water's own heartbeat. You close your eyes, listening. In your mind the sound is there, low, lilting like wind through reeds, soothing as a lullaby. It seems to blend with your breath, steady and calm. When you open your eyes again, the fjord has grown darker, the cliffs more shadowed, and yet the glimmer motif remains unwavering, guiding you further inward. Rising, you leave the pier and follow the path once more. The night feels deeper now, but your steps are light, guided by the silver thread across the water. You sense that beyond the next bend, something new and quietly wondrous waits. The fjord is opening its heart little by little, and with the next turn, a deeper discovery calls you forward. The path bends inward, drawing you closer to the cliffs. The air grows sharper, cool, stone pressing against your senses, and the fjord narrows into a long corridor of shadow and light. Above, the moon hangs low, its reflection stretched into a pale ribbon that follows you step by step. The glimmer motif returns here, not scattered sparks, but one long silver thread running straight down the center of the water like a path laid just for you. The trail levels bordered now by low grasses and clusters of wildflowers, their faint fragrance rising in the night air. You brush your hand across them as you pass petals, soft, releasing a sweetness that clings to your fingers. For a moment, you lift them towards your face, inhaling the scent part, honey part, earth part, memory. As you walk, you notice a shape ahead, an old stone wall built low running across the slope. Its surface is softened by moss, its edges broken in places, yet it holds steady as though time has not yet persuaded it to crumble. You pause, resting a hand on the stone. It is cool, rough, firm beneath your palm. A story rises from the place itself. Long ago, walls like these marked the borders of small farms clinging to the fjord's edge. Families raised sheep in the high meadows, their lives tethered to seasons, to weather, to the rhythm of the land. At night, they gathered around firelight, just as you gather tonight around the silver glimmer of the fjord. Their lives were simple, but their stories enduring. The glimmer motif appears again, in the way dew collects along the moss on the wall, shining like a row of tiny lanterns. You follow the line of light with your eyes, and for a moment it feels as if the wall itself is guiding you onward, like a road made of memory. Further along, the trail opens to another clearing. A small wooden bell tower rises here, its frame weathered, its bell hanging silent in the moonlight. You step closer, craning your head to see the simple iron cross that crowns it. The wood smells faintly of resin and age, and the bell, though silent, seems heavy with a voice it once carried. You close your eyes, imagining it ringing across the fjord, slow, steady, calling families to gather, calling hearts to rest. Even now, in its silence, you feel the resonance of that sound lingering like an echo in your chest. You breathe with it, letting the imagined tones settle deep, steady and calming like a heartbeat shared with the night. A breeze passes, stirring the grasses at your feet. The silver thread across the fjord shimmers again, brighter for a moment, as though answering the memory of the bell. You linger, watching until the light softens back into its quiet glow. Beyond the tower, the path narrows once more. It leads downward, closer to the fjord's edge. There, a small wooden boat is tied to a post, its hull painted red, its ropes worn, smooth by years of water and wind. The boat rocks gently with the current knocking softly against the pier. You step inside the wood, cool beneath your hands as you steady yourself. The air grows even stiller, the sounds of the forest falling away until only water and silence remain. You untie the rope and let the current guide you, no oars needed. The fjord carries you deeper, its motion slow and even like the gentle rocking of a cradle. The glimmer motif surrounds you now on both sides, moonlight reflecting off the high cliffs, shimmering on the water, wrapping you in a corridor of silver. You lean back, letting your body rest your breath, falling into rhythm with the slow drift of the boat. A curious thought comes perhaps. The fjord remembers every traveler who has ever drifted here, carrying their reflections along its surface, storing them in its depths. You imagine your own presence joining theirs, one more story resting on the water's quiet memory. You close your eyes, the rocking boat easing you further into calm. The air smells of pine carried down from the high slopes mingled with the faintest salt. The coolness brushes your skin, refreshing and steadying. When you open your eyes again, the cliffs part, slightly revealing a narrow inlet ahead. It seems hidden, waiting only for those who drift slowly enough to notice. You feel the boat turning, gently drawn toward it. The water grows stiller, darker, holding its secrets like a closed hand. And as you enter the inlet, the glimmer motif shines brighter than ever, gathering into one concentrated light, a silver pool that seems almost luminous beneath the shadowed cliffs. You know this is not the end of the journey, only another beginning, a doorway into something deeper. You breathe slowly, letting your shoulders soften, your chest expand, your body loosen in the cradle of the boat. The fjord is carrying you inward, step by step, breath by breath. The inlet holds its own secrets, and with the next drift, the fjord will open another hidden chamber of wonder. The inlet narrows at first, shadowed by high cliffs that lean close above the water. Their stone faces are streaked with pale lines where waterfalls once ran, now dry in summer's late breath. The air here is cooler, touched with the mineral scent of damp rock. Your boat glides silently, the fjord's current carrying you deeper into its secret chamber. The glimmer motif greets you again, this time concentrated in small pools of light, where moonbeams break through cracks in the cliffs. The surface shines in fragments, silver shards scattered like pieces of a hidden mirror. Each ripple seems to hold a memory, a soft secret meant only for those who drift this far inward. The water grows calmer as you move further in. Your boat barely rocks, floating as though suspended on glass. You dip your fingers into the fjord again, the chill sharper now, clinging longer, sending a tingling freshness up your arm. You let it fall away, droplets glittering like falling stars, before merging back into the dark. Ahead you notice a cavern opening at the base of the cliff. Its entrance is wide, the water leading directly inside. A faint sound drifts from within, not waves, not wind, but something like a low humming, steady and resonant. You let the current pull you forward, curiosity soft but insistent. Inside the cavern widens, the stone walls arching high overhead. Stalactites hang like frozen drips of time, their tips catching the silver light. The air is cool and still, carrying the faint earthy scent of stone long hidden from sun. Your boat moves slowly through the sound of water, echoing against the walls, each drop magnified, softened like rain inside a dream. And then you see it. Along one wall, faint carvings etched into the stone, spirals, circles, figures that look like boats. You lean closer, fingers brushing the damp surface. The markings are ancient, worn, smooth in places, yet their shapes endure. Folklore tells that such fjord caves once sheltered sailors in storms, and some believe spirits themselves carved messages into the stone. You imagine travelers pausing here centuries ago, their firelight dancing against these same walls, their voices soft with story and song. The glimmer motif appears even here, reflected in tiny pools that gather at the cavern's edge, each surface catching moonlight that slips through narrow cracks above. It feels as though the fjord has carried its silver thread into every hidden corner, weaving light even where darkness rests. You pause, letting your breath slow, inhaling the cavern's stillness. The sound of dripping water becomes a rhythm for your own body. In and out, steady, quiet, timeless. After a while, the current draws you onward. The cavern narrows, then opens again into another chamber of sky. Here, the cliffs part to reveal a waterfall spilling directly into the fjord. Its voice is low but powerful, steady as a drum. Mist rises, cooling your skin, carrying with it the clean scent of mountain snow melting high above. You tilt your head back, watching the water fall. It shines in silver strands under the moon, and the glimmer motif flows within it, alive, constant. You feel the rhythm of the fall not only in your ears, but in your chest, like a heartbeat shared between stone, water, and air. For a moment, you close your eyes. The spray dampens your face, your hair, your hands. You imagine the water's path from snow, high in the mountains, to streams threading through pine forests, to this plunge into the fjord's depths. The cycle continues, endless, renewing. You sense yourself as part of that cycle, your own breath, joining the rhythm of flow and return. Beyond the waterfall, the fjord opens into a wider basin. The cliffs soften here, giving way to slopes dotted with small trees and patches of grass. You hear the distant call of sheep, carried faintly through the night, a reminder of life rooted even in remote places. You guide the boat toward a small landing where a wooden jetty stretches into the water. Stepping ashore, the planks creak beneath your weight, damp with mist. The earth is soft here, rich with moss that springs gently under your feet. A faint path winds upward from the jetty. You follow it, climbing slowly. The air grows warmer as you rise above the spray of the falls. A scent of wood smoke drifts on the breeze, mingled with the sweetness of heather. At the crest of the slope, you find a small cabin, its windows glowing softly in the night. A lantern hangs by the door, light spilling in golden arcs across the grass. You pause, listening inside. You hear the faint strum of a guitar, its chords gentle, steady, soothing. For a moment you think of home, perhaps, of evenings on a porch in summer, when neighbors strummed guitars and voices drifted into the warm dusk. The memory folds easily into this northern night, as if music itself has no borders, only shared comfort. The glimmer motif greets you again, here in the reflection of the lantern on the cabin's window, silver and gold mixing together. It feels like invitation, like warmth offered freely. You rest a moment, the night wrapping softly around you. The fjord has carried you inward into shadow and story, into quiet discovery. Yet you sense that even deeper wonders wait, not of stone or water alone, but of something more tender, more luminous waiting to open. The fjord has only begun to share its secrets, and with the next steps you will enter a place of quiet wonder beyond anything yet seen. The cabin's glow fades behind you as you follow the path higher into the hills. The air is crisp here, touched by the scent of pine resin and damp earth. Each step feels lighter, as though the fjord itself is lifting you upward. You pause, often letting the silence settle deeper, silence so complete that even your breath feels like part of the landscape. The glimmer motif returns not only in the water below, but in the dew that coats the grass along the path. Each blade holds a droplet of silver, tiny stars under your fingertips. You run your hand lightly through them, the cool moisture clinging to your skin before slipping away. From the crest of the hill, you see the fjord stretch in both directions. Behind the silver path leads back toward the harbor town you left. Ahead, the water winds deeper into the mountains, its surface dark and calm, pierced only by the shimmer of starlight. The sight holds you still for a long moment, your chest filled with quiet awe, your body softened by the expanse. A wooden bench rests nearby, simple and unadorned. You sit feeling the coolness of its planks against your palms. The wind carries faint sounds, a sheep's call in the distance, the rush of water tumbling somewhere unseen, the hush of branches swaying. All of it blends into a lullaby of the fjord, steady and grounding. Your eyes drift to the sky. The northern stars scatter brightly tonight, their light sharp and clear in the cool air. You notice one star brighter than the rest, hanging low above the fjord's curve. Its reflection doubles on the water, one above one below, as though the heavens are mirrored in the depths. The motif of glimmer shines there too, a perfect silver thread linking sky and earth, reminding you of connection, of belonging. For a while, you breathe with the rhythm of the fjord, in, cool, crisp, filling your lungs with clarity. Out, slow, steady, releasing all that lingers from the day. Each breath feels like a soft conversation with the night. You rise again, following a narrow track that winds downward. Here the trees thicken, and the path is cushioned with fallen needles. The scent grows sharper, pine mixed with damp soil, grounding and pure. You pause to touch one trunk, its bark, rough beneath your hand, its solidity steadying. Soon the forest opens to a meadow, its grasses tall, moving in waves beneath the breeze. The moonlight catches them, turning each blade into silver. The glimmer motif fills the field now, not only in water or stone, but in every shifting line of grass, as though the fjord has spread its silver breath across the land itself. At the far end of the meadow, you find a small shepherd's hut, half sunk into the hillside. Its roof is thick with sod blooming with tiny wildflowers. The door is unlatched, swinging gently with the breeze. You step inside, the scent of hay and wood wrapping around you. On the table rests a simple clay bowl filled with berries. Lingam berries, tart and bright, their red sheen glowing in the lantern light. You lift one to your mouth, the taste sharp and alive, grounding you further into the moment. The sweetness lingers, carrying warmth into your chest. You notice an old woolen blanket folded neatly by the hearth. Its fibers are coarse but warm to the touch. For a moment, you imagine the shepherd resting here after long days in the meadows, his body softened by firelight, his dreams carried by the sound of the fjord below. The hut seems to hold that memory still, offering it quietly to you. You step back outside, blanket draped across your shoulders. The meadow spreads wide under the stars, the fjord winding below, silver glimmer, alive in every fold of land and sky. A quiet feeling stirs, not of exploration alone, but of something deeper waiting just beyond reach. The air stills, and in the silence, you sense the fjord's invitation. The journey is leading you toward a moment of wonder, one that lies just ahead, waiting with patience. The night deepens. The fjord draws you inward, and with the next steps you will enter the heart of its quiet beauty. The meadow fades behind you as you step once more into the forest. The air is cooler here, the canopy thick with spruce, their tall shapes swaying gently against the night sky. Each step is softened by fallen needles, the earth springing beneath your feet. You pause, listening to the hush of branches, to the faint drip of water somewhere unseen, to the stillness itself, deep and endless. The glimmer motif returns not in water this time, but in the soft glow of moonlight caught on spider silk stretched between branches. Each thread gleams, silver, delicate, and quiet, like the fjord's secret drawn into the forest itself. You lean close, marveling at how something so fine can hold light with such grace. As you walk further, the trees part, opening to a hidden lake. Smaller than the fjord, yet no less profound, its surface lies utterly still, reflecting the stars above with perfect clarity. For a moment, it seems you're standing between two skies, one above one, below a world doubled infinite. The air carries the cool scent of fresh water tinged with moss and wild mint growing at the shore. You kneel, brushing your fingers across the surface. The chill ripples outward, breaking the reflection of stars, then smoothing back into stillness. The glimmer motif shimmers across the lake, bright and pure, as though this place holds the heart of all silver threads that guided you here. A small wooden dock stretches into the water. You walk its length, the planks worn, smooth, smelling faintly of tar and resin. At the end, you sit, letting your legs dangle just above the water. The silence wraps around you so deep, it feels like an embrace. Here, a story rises from the stillness of the Huldra, the forest maiden of Old Norse tales. She was said to appear by lakes like this, her beauty radiant, her voice soft as water's edge. Travelers who met her were offered both comfort and mystery, a glimpse into the heart of nature itself. Whether myth or memory, you feel her presence now in the quiet glow of the water, in the way the glimmer gathers around you like gentle company. You take a slow breath, letting the lake's cool scent fill your lungs. And as you exhale, your body softens further. The weight of your shoulders drifts away. The muscles of your face loosen. Even the thoughts that linger at the edge of your mind begin to dissolve into stillness. A faint sound touches your ears, a flute played far across the lake. Its melody is slow, tender, each note stretched like a ribbon across water. You close your eyes listening. The sound feels both ancient and familiar, like a lullaby remembered from childhood. You picture a figure sitting by a fire on the opposite shore. The flute raised gently, the song carrying across the night, for no one and for everyone at once. When you open your eyes, the lake glimmers brighter. Stars seem closer here, their reflections deep and unbroken. You realize that the silver motif has become more than a thread of light. It is a mirror of calm itself, a way for the world to remind you of stillness, to show you what it means to rest. The air grows cooler as night settles deeper. You wrap the blanket tighter around your shoulders, the coarse wool grounding you in its warmth. You feel a quiet gratitude for the meadow that carried you here, for the fjord that guided you, for the light that continues to glimmer, no matter how dark the night grows. You sit a while longer watching the stars above and below. Time seems to blur. Minutes, perhaps. Hours drift past without measure. Only the sound of the flute, only the shimmer of water, only the steady rhythm of your breath. At last, you rise from the dock, your steps slow, unhurried. You follow a faint path along the shore, the silver glow of the lake guiding your way. The air holds a stillness that feels sacred, as though every tree and stone watches silently, honoring your presence. The path climbs gently, leading to a ridge that overlooks both the lake and the fjord beyond. When you reach the top, you pause, and what you see takes your breath. The two waters lie together, the fjord winding deep into the land, the lake still and perfect, and above them, both the stars scattered wide. All of it glimmers silver upon silver, until the world itself seems woven of light. You stand in awe, your heart full, your body weightless. This is the heart of the journey, the soft wonder you have been led toward a place where sky and earth, water and breath all merge into one. And as you linger, you sense that this is only the beginning of what the fjord will show you. The night holds you in wonder now, and with the next steps, that wonder will deepen into something even more tender. The ridge behind you fades. As you follow the narrow path downward, your steps soft on the mossy ground. The air grows colder, tinged with stone and water, but your chest feels warm, filled with the wonder of what you have seen. Each breath seems slower, deeper, as though the fjord itself is teaching you how to breathe in rhythm with its stillness. The glimmer motif greets you once more. At first in the dew along the grasses, sparkling faintly in the moonlight, and then in the reflection of stars across the fjord below. Tonight it feels less like a distant light and more like a companion, something that walks beside you, steady, constant, gentle. The path winds into a grove of birch trees. Their white trunks shine in the darkness, their leaves whispering softly in the night breeze. You run your hand along one trunk, the bark smooth, cool beneath your palm. A sweetness lingers in the air, faintly resinous, reminding you of autumn fires yet to come. In the center of the grove stands an old wooden table, its surface rough, carved with initials and symbols worn deep by time. You sit feeling the wood beneath your hands. Once travelers may have paused here, sharing bread stories or silence under the same stars. Tonight, it is yours alone, yet the presence of others lingers not heavy, not haunting, but warm, as though the grove itself remembers every voice. The glimmer motif appears here too in a jar set at the table's center, half filled with water. It must have been left by someone long ago forgotten, yet the moonlight still finds it. The water glows faintly silver like a captured piece of the fjord. You lean closer, watching the light shift within it, and for a moment, you feel as though you're looking into a memory, one that belongs both to you and to the land. You breathe slowly, your shoulders dropping as you exhale. The stillness here is deep, but it carries comfort rather than emptiness. It feels like sitting at a friend's table, even when no one else is near. After a while, you rise, continuing along the path. It leads to the fjord's edge once more, where a narrow stone beach spreads like a crescent. The pebbles crunch softly under your shoes. You kneel, picking up one smooth, round cool in your palm. Its surface glimmers faintly with mica silver specks catching the moonlight. You turn it over slowly, then place it back among its companions, a small act of respect for the countless stones shaped by water and time. Here the fjord lies utterly still, as if holding its breath. The air carries the faint scent of kelp and pine. You sit on a driftwood log, pulling the blanket around your shoulders, letting the chill of stone and water mingle with the warmth you hold inside. A story drifts into your mind of how, in old times, Norwegians believed the fjords were carved by mighty beings, giants who scooped valleys with their hands. Some said the glimmer on the water was their trace, the shimmer of their passing left behind. Whether truth or tale, you feel the echo of something vast here, something older than memory, yet tender enough to welcome you. The motif shines brighter now, scattered across the entire fjord. Each spark of light feels like a voice whispering softly, reminding you that you belong to this moment, to this night, to this breath. You close your eyes listening. The silence hums steady as a heartbeat. Your own breath joins it, slow, calm, peaceful. The weight of your body settles deeper into the log, the earth holding you steady. When you open your eyes, you notice something unexpected. A school of small fish moves just below the water's surface, their scales flashing silver as they turn together. The fjord glimmers not only from above but from within, as if life itself is part of the light. The sight touches something deep inside you, a quiet joy, simple and profound. For a long moment you sit with it, the silver shimmer, the hush of water, the warmth of your breath. The fjord feels not like a place you visit, but like a friend you've always known, waiting patiently until you arrived. At last, you rise following the path once more. The night feels softer now, the air less cold, as though wonder itself carries warmth. Ahead, the fjord bends its curve, hidden by shadow. You sense that what waits there is not just beauty, but a gift meant only for those who walk this far. The fjord's heart is opening, and with the next turn, you will step even deeper into its quiet embrace. The shoreline curves inward, and you follow each step softened by moss and sand. The fjord here feels narrower, as though it has drawn you closer, inviting you into its hidden heart. The air carries a faint sweetness touched with pine needles and wild heather drifting on the breeze. The glimmer motif greets you once more at first, in the small waves that lap against the stones, each crest catching a sliver of moonlight. Then in the pale streaks of silver cloud that move across the sky, mirrored perfectly in the water below. It feels as if the whole night has become a web of light surrounding you in calm. Ahead, the path leads to a wooden bridge arched gracefully over a narrow stream that feeds into the fjord. The boards creak softly as you step across, the scent of fresh water rising cool and clean. Beneath you, the stream sparkles with fragments of moonlight tumbling in bright ribbons over smooth stones. You pause, leaning against the railing, and for a moment you let the water's rhythm become your own. Steady, soothing, endless. On the far side of the bridge, a small glade opens its grass, soft and pale under the stars. In the center stands a circle of standing stones, not large, not grand, but worn smooth by centuries of weather. You approach slowly, running your hand across one. It is cool and solid, its surface etched with faint lines, almost gone but not forgotten. A story stirs here of how such circles were once places of gathering, where villagers marked the change of seasons with quiet rituals. They lit fires, sang songs, and offered thanks to the fjord for safe passage and fertile land. You imagine those voices rising into the night, their warmth lingering in the stones even now. The glimmer motif appears again, this time in the dew that coats the stones, each drop shining like a pearl. It feels as though the past itself has left a soft glow guiding you gently forward. You sit in the center of the circle, drawing the blanket around your shoulders. Closing your eyes, you let the silence fill you. The ground beneath is firm, steady, carrying the memory of countless feet that stood here before. You breathe deeply. In, cool, clear. Out, slow, soft. The fjord's rhythm moves through you until your body feels as rooted as the stones themselves. When you open your eyes, the glade feels brighter. Fireflies drift among the grasses, their lights flickering in slow patterns. Their glow mingles with the silver glimmer, weaving a dance of gold and silver that moves like quiet music through the night. You smile softly, the sight filling your chest with warmth. A faint sound reaches you, the ring of a bell carried from far away, perhaps from a farm nestled deep in the hills. The note is clear, gentle, lingering long after it fades. It reminds you of evenings back home when wind chimes stirred on a porch at dusk, their voices simple yet comforting. The connection feels natural, as though the world is reminding you that every place holds echoes of another, and that peace is universal. The fireflies drift higher, their glow scattering toward the trees. You rise, following their path back to the edge of the fjord. The water lies open once more, wide, and calm. The stars above doubled in its surface. The glimmer motif shimmers there, stronger than ever, no longer just a reflection, but something living, breathing, alive within the fjord itself. You stand at the water's edge, your breath steady, your body weightless in the quiet. You feel not like a visitor, but like part of the fjord, as though the silver light threads not only through water and sky, but through your own heart. The air grows cooler as night deepens, brushing gently across your skin. You pull the blanket closer, warmed from within. A sense of gratitude rises, wordless but real, for the fjord, for the night, for the simple gift of stillness. When at last you turn to continue, the path feels different, less like a road and more like a story unfolding. Each step is slow, calm, sure. You know now that the fjord is not only showing you its beauty, but inviting you to belong to it, if only for this night. The silver glimmer guides you still, and with the next steps, its meaning will deepen, carrying you even closer to the fjord's quiet heart. The night has grown deep, but the fjord feels brighter than ever. Each step you take along the path is lit not by lanterns or fire, but by the quiet glow of moon and water. The glimmer motif is everywhere, now scattered on the surface of the fjord, woven into the dew on grass, mirrored in the eyes of the stars above. It is no longer just a reflection, but a living thread that seems to connect all things. The path descends into a small hollow where a stream flows gently into the fjord. Its voice is soft, steady, like breath in sleep. You kneel beside it, dipping your hand into the water. The chill runs through your fingers, cool and sharp, before melting into warmth that spreads through your chest. You cup the water, sip it slowly, and it tastes of clarity itself, clean, fresh, like snow made liquid. The hollow is ringed with trees, their trunks pale in the moonlight. You notice markings carved into one faint shapes of fish and boats almost lost to age. You trace them with your fingertips, feeling their grooves. It is as if someone long ago wished to leave a story here, to let the fjord remember their journey. Tonight, you are part of that story, another set of hands reaching into the silence. The glimmer returns here in the stream itself, small sparks of silver flickering in the current as it flows toward the fjord. You watch, and for a moment it feels as if the water is carrying pieces of light, delivering them gently into the greater expanse. You breathe slowly, your body softened, your mind stilled by the sight. You follow the stream's path to where it meets the fjord. There, a small wooden jetty stretches outward, narrow and simple. You walk its length, the boards creaking softly under your steps. At the end, you sit, letting your feet hover just above the water. The fjord lies open before you, wide and silver, its surface so calm it seems you could walk across it. For a long while you sit in silence. The only sound is the stream's voice behind you. The only sight, the endless shimmer of stars doubled on water. And in that stillness, something inside you shifts. The glimmer is no longer only outside, but within you. Feel it in your breath, in the slow rhythm of your heart, in the calm, settling deeper than thought. You close your eyes. The night folds around you like a blanket. Your shoulders sink. Your jaw loosens. The tension that once clung to your body dissolves completely. The fjord silence is not empty. It is full, a presence that cradles you as tenderly as sleep itself. A memory rises of evenings back home when you sat outside in quiet. perhaps on a porch swing at dusk, fireflies flickering the air cooling after the day's heat. You recall the comfort of those nights, how time seemed to pause, how the world felt safe and whole. That same feeling wraps around you now, carried across continents, alive in this northern fjord. The glimmer motif greets you again, this time as your own reflection in the water. You lean forward, seeing your face softened by silver light. For a moment, you do not see lines of age or weight of worry. You see only calm, only stillness, only the gentle truth of being here now. The fjord reflects not only your image, but your peace. You breathe deeply, slowly, your chest rising with the fjord's calm. In, cool, steady. Out, soft, releasing. The rhythm becomes seamless, your body joining the cycle of water, air, night. You feel not separate, but part of something vast and tender. At last, you rise, your body light, your steps easy. The path continues along the fjord's curve, and as you walk, the silver glimmer seems to move with you, no longer guiding from afar, but walking beside you, woven into each breath, each heartbeat. Ahead, you glimpse a glow, not bright, not harsh, but warm like the promise of firelight. You know the journey is not ending, but deepening. The fjord is leading you towards something more intimate, more luminous still. The night's heart is opening wider, and in the next steps you will feel its quiet embrace more fully than ever before. The glow ahead grows brighter as you follow the curve of the fjord, not harsh, not sudden, but steady like the rising of dawn. Your steps are slow, unhurried, each one softened by moss and earth. The air is cool but carries a warmth, now touched with wood smoke and faint sweetness like berries warming on the fire. The glimmer motif greets you once more, everywhere all at once. In the fjord's silver surface, in the stars that spill across the sky, in the dew, along the grasses, and even in the lantern light that begins to flicker from a clearing ahead. Tonight the glimmer has grown from a single thread into a woven tapestry surrounding you in light and belonging. At last, you step into the clearing. A small circle of cabins rests here, their windows glowing with golden firelight. The air carries the scent of fresh bread, of pine wood, burning, of wool warmed by heat. You pause at the edge, listening. From one cabin drifts a melody of fiddle, this time slow and tender, its notes lilting like a lullaby. You move closer, stopping at a long wooden table set outdoors beneath the stars. Upon it, simple foods are arranged: flatbread, berries, smoked fish, bowls of fresh cream. No one sits at the table now, yet the warmth of gathering lingers. You imagine families who once shared meals here, their voices rising into the night, their laughter folding into the fjord's stillness. The table seems to hold their memory, offering it gently to you. The glimmer motif appears again in the sheen of cream in its bowl, in the silver reflection of spoons left behind, in the shine of frost beginning to gather on the wood. Each spark of light feels like a gift, small yet profound, a reminder of nourishment and care. You take a seat at the table, resting your hands on its surface. The wood is warm, as if the firelight has seeped into it. You close your eyes, letting your breath fall into rhythm with the faint fiddle tune. In, cool, clear. Out, soft releasing. Your shoulders sink. Your jaw loosens, your whole body softens into the quiet music of night. For a moment, a wave of gratitude fills you, not sharp, not overwhelming, but gentle like warmth spreading from within. Gratitude for the fjord, for the glimmer, for the chance to rest here in the heart of wonder. You rise, carrying the blanket closer around you, and walk toward the largest cabin. Its door is open, lantern light spilling out. Inside, you glimpse a hearth burning low, its flames steady, its glow golden against the timber walls. A rocking chair rests by the fire, empty, waiting. You step inside. The warmth wraps around you immediately, soft and deep. You settle into the chair, its wood creaking gently, its rhythm slow and soothing. The fire crackles softly, releasing the scent of resin and smoke. The glimmer motif dances here too, in the flicker of flame, in the glow along the floorboards, in the reflection of light on the cabin's windows. You close your eyes, rocking slowly. The chair moves like the fjord's current, steady, gentle, unhurried. Your breath joins it, in and out, until the rhythm of body fire and night become one. A memory rises again, perhaps of nights long ago, when you sat by a fire at home, a blanket around your shoulders, your body softened by heat and stillness. You recall the comfort of those evenings, the simple truth that warmth and peace can exist anywhere carried by the heart. That same truth fills you now here in this northern fjord. Time drifts. You do not know how long you sit, nor does it matter. The fire glows, the chair rocks, the night holds you in perfect calm. The fjord is no longer outside you, but within its glimmer, woven into your breath, your heartbeat, your very being. At last, you rise, the blanket still wrapped around your shoulders. You step back into the night. The cabins glow softly behind you, their firelight mingling with the silver of stars. The fjord stretches beyond, vast and luminous, its surface shimmering as though it too remembers the fire's glow. You pause at the clearing's edge, your chest filled with serenity. The fjord has given you its heart, and now gently it is time to follow it toward rest. The wonder softens, now dissolving into peace, and with the next steps, the fjord will carry you toward deep, restful calm. The cabins glow softly behind you as you step once more into the night. Their warmth lingers like an ember carried in your chest, but the air outside is cool, touched with pine and the faint salt of the fjord. You breathe it in slowly, letting your shoulders sink, your chest expand, and as you exhale, a deeper calm settles through your body. The path leads downward, back toward the water's edge. The fjord lies still, its silver surface stretched wide beneath the stars. The glimmer motif greets you again, not bright, not scattered, but soft, diffused like moonlight seen through mist. It feels quieter now, more intimate, as if the fjord is whispering only to you. You pause by the shore, kneeling to touch the stones. They are cool, smoothed by centuries of water, steady beneath your hand. You let your palm rest there, the firmness of earth grounding you, reminding you that you are held. A small wooden boat waits at the pier. Its ropes creak softly as it sways inviting you to step inside. You do, settling onto the bench, wrapping the blanket around your shoulders. The wood is cool beneath you, the air sharper out on the open water. You untie the rope, and the fjord carries you gently outward, no oars needed. The motion is slow, steady, like the rocking of a cradle. Each rise and fall of the boat soothes your body further. Your breath falls into rhythm with it. In, slow. Out, softer still. The fjord holds you in its calm, guiding you deeper into peace. Above, the stars scatter wide, clear and sharp in the cool night sky. Their reflections ripple across the fjord's surface, the glimmer motif alive once more. The water looks as though it has become sky itself, endless, luminous, weightless. You feel yourself floating not just on water, but on light. A story drifts through your mind of sailors who once believed the stars reflected in the fjords were lanterns carried by ancestors guiding their boats home at night. You imagine them now shining gently for you, not to guide a course of travel, but to lead you into rest. The thought fills you with warmth, a sense of belonging that eases every corner of your being. The fjord narrows again, cliffs rising on either side. Their faces gleam faintly in moonlight, streaked with silver veins of stone. The glimmer motif appears here too, traced along the rock like threads woven into the mountain itself. You feel as though the land is stitched together with light, each part of it connected, every path leading to stillness. You close your eyes for a while, letting the boat drift. The sound of water laps gently against the hull, steady and soothing. The fjord hums with quiet, not silence, but a presence steady and eternal, like the heartbeat of the earth itself. When you open your eyes again, you see a small fire burning ahead on the shore. Its glow is soft, golden, a point of warmth in the cool night. The boat drifts toward it, and you guide it gently to land. Stepping ashore, the earth feels firm beneath your feet, grounding after the water's sway. The fire is simple, a ring of stones holding its quiet flames. You sit beside it, pulling the blanket closer. The warmth spreads through you, the glow painting your hands and face in gold. The glimmer motif dances here too in the firelight itself, silver and gold mingling in the night. You lean back against a smooth stone, closing your eyes. The fire's crackle mixes with the fjord's hush, with the rustle of pines high above. Each sound eases you further, softening your body, quieting your mind. A wave of serenity moves through you, not sharp, not sudden, only the deep knowing that you are safe, you are held, you are part of this night's gentle rhythm. The fire will fade, but the fjord will remain, and with the next steps, you will sink even deeper into its quiet embrace. The fire burns low, its flames reduced to glowing embers. You sit quietly beside it, your body wrapped in warmth, your breath slow and even. The fjord lies only steps away, its silver surface calm as glass. The glimmer motif appears here, reflected faintly in the embers themselves, silver mingling with gold, a reminder that even as light fades, it never truly disappears. You rise slowly, unhurried, and follow a narrow path that leads back to the shoreline. The earth beneath your feet feels softer here, carpeted with moss that cushions each step. The air carries the cool breath of water tinged with pine and salt. Each inhalation steadies you further. Each exhalation loosens you more deeply into calm. At the water's edge, you find a stone flat enough to sit upon. Its surface is cool and solid, grounding you as you lower yourself. You pull the blanket close, lean back, and let your gaze drift across the fjord. The stars above are countless now, their reflections rippling gently below. It feels as though you are surrounded on every side by sky. The glimmer motif shimmers more gently now, no longer a thread guiding you forward, but a quiet presence settling all around you. It rests in the water, in the stars, in your own breath, as if the fjord itself has folded you into its light. You close your eyes for a moment. The air moves softly across your face, cool and refreshing. You notice the weight of your body pressing into the stone, the steady rhythm of your breath rising and falling, the warmth of the blanket enclosing you like a cocoon. For a long moment, you are simply here, no past, no future, only the stillness of now. A sound rises faintly, the distant call of a loon across the water. Its voice is low, lingering, carrying through the fjord, like a song meant for the night alone. You listen, letting its tone echo inside you. It blends with the lapping of water against the stones, with the whisper of trees high above, until all sound becomes one steady lullaby. The glimmer motif appears again, mirrored in your closed eyes, not as light you see, but as calm you feel. It has become something internal, a quiet glow that moves with each breath. You realize the fjord has given you not only its beauty, but its rhythm, its serenity, its peace. When you open your eyes once more, the fjord seems even stiller than before. The surface lies unbroken, save for the smallest ripples of night air. The cliffs rise like guardians, their faces softened by moonlight. Above them, the stars glow, steady, ancient, and tender. You whisper a breath of thanks into the night, not to be heard, not to be answered, but simply to be part of the exchange. The fjord receives it, holds it, returns it as calm. Your body softens further, your head growing heavy. You lean back against the stone eyes half closed, the blanket warm around your shoulders. The night feels endless but not vast, close, intimate, as though the whole fjord is holding you gently in its arms. The glimmer remains steady, soft, eternal. It no longer asks you to follow, only to rest, to let go, to be carried. The fjord is guiding you deeper now, and with the next steps, the night will cradle you fully in its quiet embrace. The stone beneath you feels steady, cool, and eternal. You shift slightly, sinking deeper into its firmness, letting it hold the weight of your body with quiet assurance. The fjord stretches before you, its silver surface calm and endless like a mirror that reflects not just stars, but the very feeling of peace itself. The glimmer motif greets you once more, softer now, gentler, as though it has settled into a lull. It lies across the water in a thin, delicate shimmer, almost imperceptible, yet always there. A quiet thread that reminds you of all the moments it has carried you through tonight. You draw the blanket closer around your shoulders. Its warmth gathers while the cool night air brushes across your cheeks. You breathe deeply, in, slow and steady, out, softer, quieter still. Each breath feels as though it is blending into the fjord's rhythm, dissolving the edges between your body and the night. Your eyes drift toward the cliffs. Their outlines rise dark against the sky, softened by moonlight. You notice faint streaks of silver running through their stone, as if the glimmer itself has been written into the earth. These fjords have held their shape for thousands of years, carved by ice and time. Yet tonight, they seem tender, leaning gently over you like guardians at rest. A story comes to mind of how the Norse once called fjords the arms of the land because they reach inward, holding sea and mountain together. Sitting here, you feel those arms around you, too steady, protective, enfolding you in a calm that asks, nothing needs, nothing only gives. The glimmer motif shines once more, reflected in your own half-closed eyes. You feel it inside you now, not just light you see, but a glow. You carry a quiet presence that soothes from within. Your body grows heavier, your head tilts, your shoulders relax. The stone beneath feels like a bed carved by the earth itself, solid and unwavering. The sound of the fjord laps softly in the background, steady as a heartbeat, a rhythm that guides you deeper, deeper still. A breeze stirs, carrying the cool scent of pine and salt across your face. It feels like a hand brushing gently, reassuringly, as though the fjord itself is saying, you may let go. You may rest, you may drift. The stars above scatter wider, countless points of silver light. Their reflections ripple softly across the fjord until the whole world seems made of glimmer, sky waterstone, air breath, all woven into one tapestry of stillness. Your eyes close fully, now your body heavy and warm, your mind quiet. Time has dissolved. There is only breath, only, calm only, the gentle cradle of the fjord. And somewhere in the distance, faint but certain, you sense that the journey is drawing toward its end. Not abruptly, not with finality, but with the same softness as a fire burning to embers, as a tide easing to rest. The fjord holds you fully now, and with the next steps, it will carry you into its final, serene embrace. The night has grown so quiet now that even the smallest sounds, the ripple of water, the whisper of pine needles high above, feel like part of your breath. You remain wrapped in the blanket, your body softened, heavy at ease. The fjord stretches endlessly before you, its silver surface calm, unbroken, timeless. The glimmer motif appears once more, softer than ever, no longer guiding you forward, no longer beckoning. It rests simply in the fjord, steady and constant, like the final note of a lullaby that lingers even after the song has ended. It has carried you through the harbor and the forest, through meadows and cabins, through firelight and silence. And now it rests with you here in stillness. You breathe in deeply. The coolness of the night air fills your chest with clarity. You breathe out slowly, and your whole body sinks deeper into rest. Each breath dissolves the edges of thought, leaving only peace, only calm, only the soft rhythm of the fjord. The cliffs around you feel like arms, vast, steady, protective. The water at your side moves with a gentleness that rocks you further toward sleep. The stars above scatter wide, their reflections shimmering faintly on the water below, as if two skies have folded into one. All of it blends together. Now land water, sky breath, until it is impossible to tell where the fjord ends and you begin. The glimmer motif glows inside you as much as around you. You feel it in your breath, in the steady beat of your heart, in the warmth that spreads through your body. It is not just light anymore. It is rest itself, a presence that will remain even as you drift beyond the edges of wakefulness. You close your eyes. The fjord holds you. The night cradles you. The world softens, dissolves, releases. And as sleep begins to wrap itself gently around you, the fjord whispers its final gift: you are safe, you are held, you are at peace. If you enjoyed this journey, you're welcome to join me again whenever you wish. There are many more stories waiting for you, ready to guide you into restful dreams.